But what was I gonna say? What about, when you think about like individual? So how do I say this? I know the fact that we need to meet the community at their needs, and not because they're already worried to come to come to the
Yeah.
hospitals and all that. But my last question would be like something like that. How would individuals, like how, the best, like how would it be best to deliver those vaccinations? Because I know that there's cultural barriers too, like the language, the all that stuff.
Yo, dude, just think about it. I mean, especially like Hispanics and Latinos, they don't even like, especially the men, we don't even like going to the hospital. You know what I mean? We don't even want to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
We don't want to go. We're a lot of us. I mean, we won't admit it, but we're kind of just macho men.
Machismo, machismo.
Machismos. Yeah, we're just machismos, and it's just like, we're afraid to ask. We don't want to ask for help. We can get through it ourselves, and that's not always the best mindset to take. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be a little bit. There's some strength and vulnerability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just how am I gonna, if my grandpa was still here, how would we convince him, if he's that type of way, which a majority, not all of them are, but a majority of them are, like, hey, come grandpa, come and let's go to the hospital and let's go to the clinic and get the shot. They're not going to want to go. They didn't want to go when there's actually things that are hurting them.
Right.
So why are we going to go and get something like this? And especially, like I said, I think the worst thing, I mean, not only misinformation is bad, but just and ignorance is a bad word, but just like just not being informed about what this thing actually is, what the vaccine actually is. And you're right, there's a lot of barriers to it too. So they need to figure out a way to make it a standard for everybody, so that everyone can understand it, so everyone knows what they're actually being given. Because if someone who's just on Facebook 24/7, they're more likely not going to get it or not going to want to get it or make an appointment to get it, because they see things that they see one case back in, I don't know what state, this person got it and died or something, or this person got it and this happened to them, and it's like that one experience that they might see that might not even be real. It could be something that somebody just created, right, and just influenced and put it on the internet. That could deter someone from actually going and getting something that could save their life and their family's life, because they don't have any information in their hand, So
Right.
I don't know. I just think that everyone needs to do a better job at actually researching themselves, so that to the point where they're comfortable themselves, because I would never want someone to take something they're not comfortable taking, if I know, even though I know in my mind, I'm a science buff, so I know this stuff, right? And I read about this stuff, and so I know I'm comfortable with it, right? But like my mom, sometimes she's not comfortable, and I'll talk to her about stuff, and she still might not be comfortable, even if I can explain the whole physiology about it. She still is hesitant because she's a little bit older. She has some comorbidities, which it's just pretty much other issues, other health issues, and she's afraid that both ways. She's afraid that if she gets the virus itself, she's not going to make it. That's the mindset she has, right? Which, like I said, it could be very unlikely that she gets really bad symptoms, and it could be likely she does, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
And then another thing is that this virus sometimes, like I said, it's created to initiate an immune response in your body, right? So people say stuff like, oh, I got a fever, my side effects, I got a fever, I got this. Those aren't side effects. Those are expected symptoms. You know what I mean? Because that means that your body is creating an immune response to what it's receiving, right? Because if it's meant to create an immune response, as if like when you got the real coronavirus, right? You weren't feeling well. That's your body fighting the coronavirus. When you got fevers, when besides it, you having a cough and other things, those things are created in your body because it's to create an immune response, so they can create antibodies to fight this thing that this intruder that you just encountered, right? So when people go on record and they say things like that, like, oh, I had this and I had a headache and I had body aches. Yeah, that's what this thing's supposed to do. Not to the severity where you feel like you're going to die, but this vaccine is supposed to create an immune response in your body so that it can fight off this intruder if you're ever to face it in the future, So you kind of want some of these things because that means that your body's doing what it has to do, and this vaccine is working the way it was supposed to be working. So that's why I said when I got the vaccine, I had a fever. It wasn't a bad thing, it was a good thing because that's what you expected to do, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I just know we have to do a better job at not only dispensing it, but actually getting it in people's arms, because they say, you can see the numbers, on these news channels and stuff like that. And who knows if they're fluffed up, but it's not the fact that we don't have enough. It's like, we sent out all these vaccines, but they're not being given, and these vaccinations, the way that they're being kept, it's like 10 doses a vial, right? So if you don't have 10 people to give it to in that particular time, then you're going to be wasting doses. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little weird, but that's just the way it works. So that's why they want people, or they're encouraging people, to make appointments and sign up, especially they're trying to, of course, start off with staff and hospital staff and stuff like that, because they're coming in direct contact with these patients first. And not only that too, but just the fact that they don't want staff to get sick, because then, we're already kind of at a shortage, in some places. And just imagine if like one person in the department gets it and gets other people sick in the department, and they're going to be in more dire need for staff than they already are, and then they can't help the people that are sick. So this would be like a double whammy. So I don't know. It's one of those things that's kind of out of our hands, right? That's more for the government and stuff like that to figure out and hopefully come up with a better plan than what we've been doing. So.
Right.